Let's talk about dopamine. People call it the chemical of want and desire, but why is that? Well, here's how it works. From an evolutionary standpoint, your brain rewards you for anything that will increase your likelihood of survival by releasing a neurotransmitter called dopamine in your brain. That's the reason why it feels so damn good to have sex or to eat a steak, because our brain thinks that sex equals the reproduction of our species and that a fat piece of meat equals a long-lasting satiation. Let's look at an example. As soon as you're standing in front of your fridge and you have the choice to either pick a carrot or a piece of chocolate, your brain will tell you to pick the one which releases more dopamine, as it knows that it will make you feel more pleasure. So naturally, you will choose the chocolate. Now you might say, well, that's not too bad to eat a piece of chocolate every now and then. And that's true, but as soon as our brain releases a lot of dopamine, it will try to stimulate the craving for that thing over and over again until we develop an urge for it. And that's when the addiction kicks in and we can't live without it. For this reason, people become overweight, alcoholics or drug addicts. The thing is that dopamine doesn't know what's good for us and what isn't. It doesn't know that eating too much chocolate is unhealthy for us. All it sees is the potential of pleasure without any context, and for this reason, drug addicts are willing to let their whole life fall apart only to get that one hit of dopamine again and again. The terrifying reality is that almost every company in our modern society exploits this deeply rooted reward system by putting it on steroids. There are millions of experts specifically designing their product and internet platforms to release as much dopamine as possible in order to make us come back over and over again. That's why social media platforms switch from chronological feeds to an algorithm-based feed, and that's why video games have levels and ranking systems to keep us coming back. They give us constant dopamine hits as we jump from one post to the next one and from one level to the next one. And what makes it even easier for us to engage in social media, junk food, porn, alcohol, drugs, or any other source of instant gratification is that it doesn't take us any effort. We simply have to consume and are instantly rewarded with massive hits of dopamine. It's crazy to believe, but we live in a world which is designed to stimulate our emotions in order to maximize profits. It is scientifically proven that dopamine has a direct influence on the decisions we make and the actions we take. That's why ultimately dopamine controls us on a daily basis, and that's why billions of people unconsciously focus their whole life on consuming instead of creating the lives they actually want to live. Alright, so I honestly believe that this problem is much bigger than we think and that every single person is impacted by it. And that's why I want to tackle it by doing a 7-day dopamine detox in order to change my relationship with dopamine and hopefully inspire you guys to do the same. So here are the rules. For the next 7 days, I won't be allowed to consume the following things. No social media. I deleted all social media apps from my phone and won't be able to access these sites on my laptop as well. No digital entertainment. I'm not allowed to watch TV or Netflix and I can't play any video games. No junk food, which means that I can't eat any unhealthy food like chips or sweets. Regarding beverages, I will only drink water, so also no Coke Zero. No alcohol and drugs, no porn, and no music. This is something I wanted to try for myself because I'm constantly listening to music and never really have a moment of silence. So now as the rules were set, I was ready to embark on this journey. So, my dopamine detox is slowly coming to an end, and I have to say that I really enjoyed those last couple of days. Obviously, there were some temptations here and there, and sometimes I also felt bored, especially in the evenings when I just didn't have anything to do. I couldn't watch Netflix, I couldn't go on social media, but I just compensated for that time by Skyping with my friends, which is a pretty good alternative to social media, to be honest. And I just feel like you have to escape that constant stimulus that we have in our modern world in order to just zoom out and to reflect on where you're at the moment, in order to just see everything objectively and in order to make changes. And I really feel that I was able to do that by just having these moments of boredom. I think that they are necessary and that everything around us is kind of holding us back from having them. So yeah, I really enjoyed this detox and I hope that I can keep up the benefits for a couple of more days or weeks and hopefully also make some changes for my overall life. Right now, the only thing I've got to do is jump in the ocean. So what do I take away from these last 7 days? While things like junk food, alcohol and porn were pretty easy to avoid, other things like social media and music were a lot harder for me. Driving without any music is
fucking boring.
But from one day to another, I noticed more and more benefits coming from this detox. First off, I was able to restore my daily routine by going for walks and working out.
That walk felt amazing.
As my brain was not constantly overwhelmed by so many dopamine hits from external sources, I was able to replace those toxic activities with things that actually make me feel present and alive.
I don't know why, but I'm just falling in love with sunsets and sunrises again.
I was able to focus my time on the things which bring me fulfillment, like working on my business, doing sports, or learning a new hobby. I normally needed a lot of motivation in order to get started with those activities, but from time to time, they kind of became effortless.
5:40 a.m. Let's do this.
I not only became more productive and focused, but I overall feel like everything around me started to slow down.
Can you see how fast the clouds are moving? It's insane.
Not having all of these distractions at my fingertips allowed me to finally catch a breath and wipe my mind clean of any stressful thoughts. These 7 days really showed me once again how much noise we usually expose ourselves to on a daily basis. It was mind-opening to see how lowering our excessive consumption can improve so many different aspects of our lives and therefore our overall happiness. I think that a detox like this can help everyone to see what it's like to live without this noise, and it is the first step to gain back control over your own life. So try it for yourself.